now. Bradley, great to see you as always. Thanks for joining us. I mean, on the broad points of crypto, do you think it can have another year quite as net positive as it did this past year?
No, but, I think 2 years ago, we didn't think that either. So, last year was a phenomenal year for crypto, but really it was a trend that we all believe started with the onset of COVID. One thing we've learned about this virus is we don't really know what's going to happen next. Every time we think we're just about out of it, some new variant pops up. So I think to a certain extent, what people are doing, where they're working from, whether they're going out or not, drives their behavior around things like crypto.
Do you think we get a significant amount of regulation next year, and does that hurt or in fact, in the medium to longer term, help crypto?
The latter. It should help long term as long as it's the right regulation. So to me, at least, 2022 is hopefully the year where both politics get serious about crypto and crypto gets serious about politics. It's the year where Washington finally says, we've got to regulate this in a thoughtful and serious way, where one, we want to protect consumers. That's the first job of government. But two, we want to really make the U.S. the home of crypto in the world and really capture a lot of those jobs. China has banned crypto. There's a tremendous opportunity for this country. We really ought to take advantage of it. So I think what we'll hopefully see is Washington start to do that, figure out who regulates it, likely the SEC, tax policy, everything else. And then crypto's got to get serious about politics. We've heard some noises about it from some of the different companies so far. But overall, nothing gets done in Washington or anywhere else, state government, city government, unless the people who you need to influence think you can either help them win their next election or if they're going to lose their next election if they don't help you. If they don't believe one of those two things, they don't do what you want. And right now, the crypto community has not put any real capital into building that kind of political muscle. So they're going to need to, and hopefully that'll happen in 2022.
Yeah, and after the year they've had, they have the money to. Bradley, I wanted to ask you about your regulatory prediction around cannabis in particular, because there's so much hope there was so much hope for some of these stocks, and all the companies are making moves to position for the U.S. market, especially Tilray buying up all these companies, and the stocks have been so disappointing lately. Legislation is kind of in no man's land. What do you think happens there?
Yeah, I mean, I think fundamentally, until the president says to DOJ, figure out a way to get this thing done, figure out a way to work with the FDA, get it off of Schedule 1, you're just going to always be in this limbo, right? I mean, Congress can barely get an infrastructure bill done. They can't even get within their own party, the Democrats in this case, a spending bill done. So the idea that this is all going to sail through Congress, I think, is pretty unlikely. However, I think Biden ought to use whatever executive authority he can to push it forward.
What about sports betting? What's your take there?
Yeah, I think it's going to grow a lot. I think there's another half a dozen states like Kansas, Missouri, and Georgia and Kentucky that are looking at it. And when you think about it, we say sports betting, but when we say that, we really mean more than that. We mean sports, we mean iGaming, so that could be poker or blackjack or any other kind of game. And it could mean esports, right? And that's where the really, in my view, biggest opportunity lies. Is in if two people can log on to Twitch or some platform and bet on whether the next play in Madden is a run or a pass from two strangers they don't even know, that has infinite scale. It is so much easier to do that than it is to organize a professional football game to have to bet on. So to me, the really big opportunities in esports, I think we're going to start to see both people on the tech side building platforms to do that, and I'm working on one myself, or we'll start to see regulators understanding, okay, this is coming, how should we get out ahead?